That's right. It is the Thursday Night Freakout on UFO Buster Radio. I am Manny Mooricker. I am your host, and I'm here. It is Thursday, and I've got two articles to talk about. We may or may not hear from Big O, but the first thing is I have a hard stop at 11. This will only be an hour-long episode for this Thursday Night Freakout because, fuck, I got some stuff I got to do. It might be late. It might be 11 p.m., when this podcast ends. But, I'm a night owl. I'm going to be out there on my way to the airport locally because I got things to handle up on, if you know what I mean. Yesterday we had a voicemail message from Mr. X. Don't know if that's his name, but that's the name that I gave him because I adopted him as part of the UFO Buster Radio family. But no, the voicemail was kind of low, and I didn't actually notice that until I was playing it. And I think David G chimed in on the YouTubes and said, hey, that was a great voicemail clip, dude, but I had to kick up the volume quite a bit in order to hear it. So what I'll do is tomorrow I will post this specific clip, this voicemail from Mr. X, until we find out what his name is. I will post it in UBR Truth Seekers, and you guys can go in and listen to it, and I'll see if I can increase the decibels on. You know, the stuff gets recorded into a voicemail service, so it doesn't. It's not like you could adjust that stuff. So it is what it is. I can adjust it after the fact, so I can go in and try to increase it some so that you guys can actually hear every word, every single word that Mr. X has to say. And hopefully we'll hear from him soon. You know, I'm hoping that he sees that his message was received favorably. You know, he did mention that in his line of work, UFOs and aliens is not the topic of business, and it could end up having a negative impact on his working man situation. Yeah, that really is my freak out, right? So my freak out today has nothing to do with UFOs and science, even though the articles for today do. It's about being blue collar, man. About being the working man. Fuck, it sucks. I mean, today was one of those days that I thought I was just going to have a really good day. You know, sitting at my desk, doing my thing, getting shit done. Before you know it, there was a gigantic tidal wave of nonsense and work, stuff that makes no kind of fucking sense. It was one of those days where I was like, I'm gonna go off the fucking grid, man. That's what I felt like. Like really, I could have just picked up the monitors, laptops, thrown them out the window, and just like said, fuck it. Off the grid. I'm going to go climb on somebody's fucking roof and steal their fucking solar panels and go off the grid. That's what I was going to do today. I'm not even lying. Like I'm so worked up about it. I couldn't even enjoy my usual alcohol while I podcast. I'm drinking coffee because I just want to stay worked up. That's what's happening right now. I mean, come on. There's something about like when you lead people or you manage people, but you're really concerned about your next promotion or looking good, but you sacrifice the folks that are, helping you get there. It just drives me insane. I'm telling you, it's nuts. I guarantee you the Moonraker will be going off the grid in the next couple of years. People wouldn't even see me getting a check from a corporation. I've just about had it. Corporations suck hairy asses and even hairier testicles. That's all I gotta say about that. That was my freak out. That really is what was on my mind today. Guter is currently on here, and he says I should put some vodka in my coffee. You know what? That really doesn't sound too bad because it would actually go down even smoother, kind of warm like. I likes. Zachariah is in here working hard or hardly working, according because Guter mentioned that he's at work. Welcome back, Zacharias. Yeah, so that was my issue for today. That's what I was freaking out about. It just sometimes it doesn't pay to get the fuck out of bed. Not one bit. Though you have acquaintances that you might have at the place where you're a slave to. Sometimes even seeing those faces isn't worth it. Just like you're like, yeah, but so and so's there. I like to chat. Fuck it. I can't do it. I can't. Let me go catch some kind of disease that'll keep me out for a while. Like some people, like I've heard people who would actually get surgeries done just so they don't, so they can have like short-term disability and not go into work. Like I've heard people do that, like useless, meaningless operations. It's the craziest thing. Completely crazy. So today's freak out. We might get interrupted here by Big O eventually. We'll see what happens. I actually did not listen. I was in such a bad mood about being blue collar employee of the month. I'm fucking crowning myself that I didn't even pick any Christmas music. I mean, no alcohol, no Christmas music. It's a bad day for me. It's perfect for a freak out. So fuck it all is all I'm saying. Geez, you can't win every fucking battle now, can you? That's going to be the first song for today after my 7-minute rant. Check it out. I think sometime next year I'm going to start my own Asgardia. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the United States version of Igor Asherbelly. I don't have a bunch of money, I'm not a billionaire, not a fucking scientist. So it's going to be like really low budget, kind of like a new, not space nation, I guess. So, we'll just have to run with it. I mean, fuck, if he can do it, why can't I? Why can't you? Let's start our own nation. So I was kind of thinking today, like, what kind of name can we give? We don't want to use Asgardia because, come on, that is just too fucking obvious, Igor. I mean, really? So I'm thinking something more like, Dr. Green's in the chat box and he says, Mannyland. No, I'm thinking more like, no, fuck you. Yeah. Hey, where you from? No, fuck you. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, you go out, conversation comes out with maybe someone of the opposite sex, and they ask you, where are you from? You're like, I was born in Jersey, but I hail from no fuck you. I'm just saying, it's got to be something like catchy like that, I think Igor kind of missed the boat on that. He really did. He went too Marvel on people. That's what he did. He tried to stay in the mainstream. I'm not going to do that because I'm not in the mainstream. I will say some crazy ass shit at the drop of a dime because I am a citizen of no fuck you. I mean, I think it works out. You guys keep an eye out for it next year. I'll put out a nice little ad and you can sign up to be a citizen. And I will shoot up like a toy rocket and put everybody's name on it. It might not stay in orbit like the one for Asgardia because he used one of those CubeSats. But I will try my best to keep that shit up as long as possible. That way we can record some video of the flat planet. If you could believe that. The first news article today is all about shit stinking. Yeah, that's what it's about. Because being a blue-collar employee stinks. That's my exclamation point right there. Yeah, so we've been talking a lot in the few months, few years. Well, fuck, ever since the fucking rover ended up on Mars, good old Curiosity, we've been talking about this methane thing. Sometimes there's a bunch of methane, sometimes there's not. Then they say it goes in cycles and it comes in cycles and the fucking rover picks it up, but the shit in space does not. All these things are happening when it comes to methane on Mars. But let's talk about something else a little different just for a second, because there is an article about methane on Mars, and what I assume is that there's a microbial life farting its ass off, but nobody really wants to admit to that. Fuck, it happens all the time, right? You're sitting next to your grandma or your aunt, and they cut one, and they're not going to admit it. They look at you to take the fall for that obnoxious smell that comes out of their bungalow. Here's the article name. Proof of alien life. Stinky gas is surefire evidence aliens are real, astronomers announce. And, okay. Why do we need an announcement from an astronomer that stinky-ass gas could be biological? That's the thing that drives me insane. I mean, we've been talking about this shit forever. This is my rant. This is my Friday fucking freak out. Stop printing this shit, people. We already get it. Can someone please give us the fucking proof? That's all we want to know. It turns out that it is, according to some scientists, it's not Neil Tyson, deGrasse Tyson. It's not him. Some other scientists besides him, or the nerds that have the Neil deGrasse Tyson tramp stamp. Yeah, those guys. They are not the ones publishing this. It turns out that there is a foul-smelling gas, not the one that comes out of Big O. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Big O, I didn't mean you, I mean bugs. Not the one that comes out of bugs. That really was like a Freudian slip. Not the one that comes out of bugs, but more something that astrobiologists say is a particular gas that is stinky as hell. And it usually comes from a biological source. It's called phosphine. Extremely, completely noxious, if you will. And now here's a shocker for you guys. This research paper was actually published by folks at MIT. Yeah. And it says that organisms, especially the simple ones, because us complex ones are just too complex for this particular gas, are known to be responsible for the production of phosphine. Keep saying fox. On Earth, phosphine is one of the most toxic and repulsing gases known to man. But I bet you not one motherfucker, when they put that damn Curiosity together, not one of them thought about having it checked for phosphine, I bet. I mean, you can't write this stuff. You really cannot write it. It turns out that the nickname for phosphine is swamp gas because it's usually found in incredibly unpleasant locations such as foul-smelling marshes and heaps of penguin dung. Riddle me that, Batman. Well, why are we talking about penguin shit right now? This just makes no sense. But according to this, that on planets far outside the solar system, alien bacteria that may not require oxygen to thrive could be still producing that gas. This came from a paper that was written by Clara Sousa-Silva from MIT's Department of Earth, Atmospheric and Planetary Services. And apparently in rocky planets that have phosphine in their atmosphere, it could be planning the dam that really can be used as hallmarks of defining gases or molecules or chemicals that almost always are going to be there when life is there. In other words, somebody fucked up. Of course, no one really is trying to find actual life. That's really what Dr. Sousa-Silva is telling us, that somebody just fucked the pooch at NASA while they were trying to design a rover, and they left folks like Clara Sousa-Silva out of the conversation. And she is an astrobiologist, by the way, so apparently that's a different kind of nerd that doesn't get invited to planning parties over at NASA. We don't like those kind of nerds. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Wait a minute. What am I hearing here? Green Man. Dr. Green says, so you're hearing this too. Alien gas killed the feed. Oh, wait a minute. Gooter says he's listening to ads. How could there be any ads playing? I'm like live. Usually ads don't play when I'm live. How weird is this? Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what's happening because I'm actually talking right now. This is why I had a Friday freak out. This is it. So there you go. The next article is actually going to be about the fact that there's another gas conversation happening on Mars. And they're still trying to figure that one out. But apparently NASA has an ace up their sleeve. don't know what the hell is going on. We're having some major technical craziness going on here. This is crazy. Like all these kind of things, like all the folks that are live right now, we're disconnected. Some had ads playing, which I don't understand how, and some were sent to a completely different episode. Fuck, the damn podcast host is having their own fucking Thursday freak out. That's what the hell it sounds like. I'm telling you, man, it doesn't pay. It's somebody else who was a blue-collar worker had a meltdown at Spreaker and decided to start pulling fucking plugs. And there you go. But by the way, just so you guys know, it turns out that I live not too far from a big NSA area. I mean, I'm talking about a big facility. This thing is fucking huge. I'll have to take a picture of it one of these days. Yeah. So the NSA is not that far. They probably listen to the podcast all the fucking time. And probably didn't like Mr. X either. Hey, Mr. X has some truth to say yesterday. And now they've caught on to me, trying to give me the shit. It's probably what's really happening. All right. You know what? We're just going to run into the next news article. This freak out is getting shorter and shorter. Fuck, for all I know, Big O's been calling for the longest and he can't get through. Because the podcast is under siege. Someone wants to end this episode like today. Part 2 of Stinky Aliens coming your way, courtesy of Mars and the Curiosity rover. Yeah, that's right. This is part 2 of the discussion. You probably didn't even hear the first one because you ended up like 10 episodes ago. Because somebody the fuck else is freaking out somewhere and is tripping all the wires at the podcast host, or, you know, some of the guys in the chat box said maybe it was the CIA. I say NSA. But it could be the Russians, because election time is coming around in the U.S. You know, those fuckers are like searching for stuff, so it could be the Russians. Yeah, it could be Vladimir. Yes, Vedvedanya. Out of San Francisco, NASA's Curiosity team apparently is trying to figure out why in the flying fuck the Curiosity rover is smelling methane without a single fucking explanation. Now, we know that the damn Johnny 5 on steroids has been stuck at Gale Crater for quite a few years, as a matter of fact. We can even say almost 7 years? Almost 7.5 years, actually. Johnny 5 on steroids has been chilling out at Gale Crater. And at Gale Crater, it detected surges in methane. And there were some other life-supporting gases that came out of the freaking place. And so we were all excited about it. Even scientists were like, oh, jolly and shit. They were all fucking happy. Oh, we got life. Something's farting on Mars. But then they retracted a lot of that happiness, right? Because, you know, they got to research that shit for at least a decade. Otherwise, it's no buenos. Can't use it. You know? You say one word in between that time frame, and those Neil deGrasse Tyson tramp stamp scientists will come out and beat the fuck out of you if you even try to publish that shit. So it turns out that our little rover has a partner in the sky, and it's called the European Russian Trace Gas Orbiter, or TGO. The TGO has been up there around the same time that the fucking rover has been detecting methane, but the TGO says, you ain't smelling shit. Literally, no. There's something broken down there. NASA has been having a hell of a time trying to figure out why in the hell is the rover sniffing up farts, but the TGOs in space can't find a lick of gas, especially methane, in the amounts that the rover is sniffing up. So the people at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, decided we got to figure something out. So here's here's the thing that they are tested. Actually, they tested it back on the 13th. So the results should be coming in pretty soon. So of course they tell us like a week late because, some people may or may not give a fuck about this kind of news. It turns out that maybe they believe it is possible that the reason why there is such a discrepancy between those two machines is because the rover, believe it or not, only sniffs for gases at night. It does not do it during the day because it's busy drilling holes in rocks or traveling or examining, rats and bugs and fossils from other lifetimes. And, sometimes you'll see building structures, some lady hanging out up there, UFOs flying over. It's fucking sightseeing during the day. And at night, it chills out, reserves some from its power, and decides to sniff the air for gas. And that's when all the farting comes out. It almost feels like the rover has another adapter or a machine attached to it that produces methane and it sniffs its own farts. I don't know what it is. But their big idea is that basically because the air during the night and the day is a little different, and so maybe it is the fact that the rover is sniffing the air at night that it's causing it to possibly be testing concentrated levels of methane just because the air in the atmosphere contracts because it's cooler. Yeah, this is what the guys with the tramp stamp came up with. Yeah, the Tyson crew, Neil deGrasse Tyson crew. And then during the day, what they think is going to happen is that the atmosphere expands because it's warmed up. And so you're going to have a much diluted or more diffused amount of methane in the air. That's what they're betting on. So they're betting that it's not that there is microbial life farting at an epic pace up there on Gale Crater, but they're betting more that it is the fact that these crazed ass suicidal lunatics that are called scientists, that they actually did the boo-boo on this one. That it was their fault that they were picking up so much gas. But the one thing the article does not say is that we don't know when exactly does that TGO, when does it look for gas in space? I mean, are you telling me that the fucking thing does it at the exact opposite time that the rover does? So one sniffing at night, the other one sniffing during the day. This literally makes no sense to me in that respect, because you would think the fucking thing would be sniffing all the time. It's in space. There's nothing to see. Keep it moving. There's nothing to see. Do your job. Sniff the fucking air. I would think that if this thing is testing the air all the time, that it would actually pick up these fluctuations between day and night. Why is it the rover's fault? The other theory in this article, if you decide to go visit it and read it, it turns out that they're thinking that there might be some other chemical or compound that might be in the air, in the atmosphere around Mars, that could actually be deteriorating the methane much faster than what it normally should. So something in the air in Mars could be breaking down the methane to the point where the TGO does not actually detect it in space. I mean, fuck, come on. I know the fucking rover has been up there quite a long time, much longer than what JPL thought it would be. But is it really broken? Could it be that the rover might be busted? Maybe their machine, that SAM unit that it uses to sniff the air, maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe there's something wrong with the fucking TGO. There's just too many variables here. Too many variables to figure out what's going on, who's giving the wrong report, and shit. I could just imagine. The report for this should be out shortly. I would imagine it will be probably in the next week. And then again, I would bet that there will be zero fucking answers for anybody, from anybody, to anybody. I think that when this report comes out, these tramp-stamped scientists are going to be really disappointed. I think that they literally will be back at the drawing board trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I really do. I've got like zero faith anymore when it comes to all this. And the shit they come up with is like just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So this is the freak out, to be honest. I was going to play one more song just for fuck's sake. You know what? Let's go ahead and play one more before we go offline. See if Big O comes on, or if it'll shoot you into somebody else's podcast as part of the coup that's going on the internets.
1, 2, 3, 4. What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so? What about your blood boiling crazy when you're just aching for her love like you could blow? You're like a broken record that turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what I am. That's what I am. What about the road less traveled? What about the chance we would take? What about the dreams we unraveled? What about the bright and shiny future we would make? We're like a broken record. Turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what I am. That's what I am. Will the circus come to my town? Will it pass me by? If the power was to take his mask off, tell me would he cry?
Yeah, one of these days, I'm telling you, I'm going to drive down to the NSA building and just post a bunch of selfies, take bugs down there, let them fart that place up. I think we'll get arrested. I mean, you should see the fence around that place. I mean, literally, you'd have to pole vault over it. You're not going to climb it. And there's some crazy wires up there to make sure your ass does not get over. And even if you do, there's a lot of security there as well, so you'll be fucked. Yeah, I don't think you'll make it to the front. I had cameras on all the freaking poles. I mean, it's just bananas. At first, I didn't know what the hell it was. I could not make heads or tail of what this building was. But, yeah, I got to take a couple of shots of that and post it on Facebooks for you guys. Well, Big O, I don't think Big O is going to make it. I got to go back and listen to this episode and figure out what the hell happened. And maybe on the playback, we won't hear any madness. Now, I did see a request there from Zachariah. It says, how about some bluegrass? I think that if I make it tomorrow, there's no guarantees there'll be an episode tomorrow, especially after today. 'Cause fuck, who knows what's going to happen now. I will get some bluegrass on there for yous. Dr. Green says, how about some unsigned bands? Dr. Green, if you can assure me that this is an unsigned band and I'm not going to get some kind of copyright notice, go ahead and email that song to ufobusterradio@gmail.com and I will get it on there for yours, so I can share it with the rest of the people. Outside of that, listen, if you enjoy the podcast in any way, and you also are a blue-collar employee who fucking thinks your employer sucks balls, then go ahead and like the podcast. Share it, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Sharing is caring. And this is the season to be jolly, so share, care, like, subscribe, and join the madness. Because it's only going to get worse as I get older. You're getting older. We'll forget what we're doing eventually. But we'll have it recorded, and we've shared it with so many people that they're bound to get a kick out of it, I guarantee you. This is the Moonraker. I'm checking out before the shit fucking blows up on me. Catch me tomorrow, maybe. If not, we'll see what happens. Just look, like I said, sign up for the fucking podcast. You'll get a signal, notification, something that tells you that the Moonraker is on. Because I guarantee you, I will be in here. And 2020 is going to be worse for me. I think I'm going to get even crazier. And then eventually, I'm just going to go off the grid. That's just the way it's going to go. But that's it. Ciao, peoples.